Welcome everyone to Nintendo Game Talk. My name is Koloko and today I will be talking about how gamers are absolutely clueless. Nobody knows what they are talking about anymore, and they all pretend to be armchair CEOs for any company, not just Nintendo, for Sony, for Xbox, for the whole industry. Gamers think that just because they spend all waking hours gaming, and I do too, and I've caught myself thinking this way as well, that we are experts behind the business practices of the industry, and this is just simply not true. Let's look at the big three. Alright, so let's look at Nintendo. Before Nintendo Switch was officially announced, you guys know how that went down. Everybody said it needs to be ultra powered. It needs to compete with PS4 and Xbox One. If it doesn't, if it's another Wii, then it's Nintendo's over. Nintendo's doomed. It's gonna go third party. Everybody thought that they knew what Nintendo's future needed to be. Well, it turns out all those people were absolutely 100% wrong. Does that stop them from continuing to say stuff like, oh, this Nintendo E3 2018, the Nintendo Direct at E3 was horrible. This is the end for Nintendo. This starts the the doom thing all over again. No, they're gonna be proven wrong time and time again. Same thing with the Xbox brand. A lot of people are saying, oh, Xbox, well, what all they did was just buy a bunch of trailers for their Xbox presentation. You darn right that's what they did. That's what Xbox needed to do. Companies will always step up to what they need to do for their business. In this case, Xbox, it has a great system. It has a great online features. The system in general is powerful. It has third-party support, but they needed to show off exclusive games, and Xbox did that. Xbox brought it this year at Nintendo E3. Did they buy a bunch of trailers? You bet they did. But for the consumer, for the regular consumer, all they see is, whoa, look at Xbox, look, they're featuring all these new games on their system. That's all the consumer is looking at. So again, armchair CEOs, oh, Xbox didn't need to do that. All they did was just buy a bunch of trailers. They need to step up their game. They're doing what they need to do for their business to handle their business. That's what it takes. They bought 5, count them, 5 development companies, 5 developers they purchased. They're doing what to them it takes to compete with the rivals, with Sony and with Nintendo. And there's nothing wrong with that. What they did was pretty cool, I think. I think they showed off a bunch of great games, but still you got people criticizing and saying, no, Xbox needs to do this, Xbox needs to do that. And you can't argue the fact that Xbox One, even with all the negativity surrounding it, you can't argue that it's a success. It's been a success. It's still selling systems. Microsoft is still making money. Microsoft is not going to lose money with Xbox brand. It's not. Microsoft will continue to just throw money at it because Microsoft can, because Microsoft has, the resources to do that until they will it a success. It's not just going to go away. Microsoft is not just going to ignore it, and that's why they did what they had to do. People thought it was going to go away. I don't understand. Like, who do you think this is? This is one of the most successful companies in the world. They have billions and billions and billions of dollars just to throw, to make Xbox a success. Whether you want to or not, it's going to happen. So, armchair CEOs, they all think that they know what was going to happen with Xbox. They all think that they knew it was going to happen with Nintendo. And now the newest thing with Fortnite with PS4, with Sony. Now people are saying, oh, Sony can't do that. Sony can't play that way. Sony is doing what Sony knows it can do. Sony can say, hey, our 80 million players with we're not gonna share, we're not gonna let them play with other people. You know, hey, it sucks for people who want to play with their friends, who have a you know, an Xbox and then their friends have a PS4, or that they have a Switch and their friends have a PS4. They can't play together. Hey, you know, that sucks. That sucks for them. But people are again, armchair CEO, and no, Sony can't do. Sony can definitely do this. Sony is winning this generation by a long shot. They have all the power right now. They have all the cards. They could do whatever they want. There's nothing that you or anyone else can do about it to change anything. Like, they're just gonna come in and play the game that they want to play, and that's fine. Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. When the Wii, in the Wii era, right, with DS and Wii, Nintendo did things their way, and there was nothing that the competition could do against it. They sold the most consoles in that generation. They were pretty much by far the most successful in that generation. It turned around and bit them, you know, bit them right in the butt of the following with the Wii U, because they thought they could just continue that name brand. Hey, the Wii U, it'll sell like crazy. We don't even have to do anything. Well, that turned out sour for them. But at the moment, you know, not having big AAA you know, games that you had on the other systems, and they still had some Call of Duties on the Wii, but not having the great graphics that, you know, the Xbox or 360 or the PS3 had, it didn't matter. They got away with it because they could, because despite, you know, the majority of hardcore gamers saying that we don't want this, we don't, you know, this is not going to work. The Wii worked, you know, and the DS worked. And I'm not saying that I agreed with it, because I don't like the Wii. I still to this day do not like the Wii. And I really didn't like the DS when it came out. But you cannot argue the fact of how successful they were. And that's what gamers think. They think because they think because they are the most hardcore of the hardcore. So you think because you play a lot of games, or you've purchased a lot of games in your life, and you read about a lot of games, you think you know the business practices behind the video game industry, and you think you know what it takes for these companies to be successful. And that's a very I don't know, ignorant way of looking at things. That's a very childish way of looking at things. You have to respect you know, the position that people are in. You know, you're not going to go, you know, and go to your doctors and just go for a checkup, and he starts giving you advice, and you're like, no, dude, you don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, I know. You know, I've had my body for the longest time, longer than you have. I know what I'm talking about with my body. No, you have to respect that guy knows more than you. You have to respect that. Another example, you know, I don't know, you call a contractor to come fix your roof. And because you Googled, oh, well, what does it take to fix our roof leak? You know, and then you start arguing with the guy because you think that you know what you're talking about, when the dude has like 30 or 40 years of experience and knows the little ins and outs and intricacies of his craft. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't just start telling somebody who's been in the business way longer than maybe some of you even born how they should do their job just because you Googled something. You know, it's so stupid. And it's just another example with, you know, I'm going to go a little like ideological here, but with society in general, you know, like they think they know everything. In the age of Google, you don't know what you're talking about. I could Google this real quick. And then, you know, everybody thinks that they know more than anyone else. And that's a problem, you know, with the industry right now, with the gaming cultures. They think they know more than these companies that have people that have been working on games for decades, and that went to, you know, that know behind the scenes what it takes to make games successful, and the economics behind that. But people just scoff at that and think that they know more than these companies. Well, we don't. You don't know more. It's been proven. You know, just look back a couple years. You don't have to look back too far. Look back a couple years. Look at all the websites saying that Nintendo Switch was going to fail. Look at all the look at all that, all the forums and all the YouTube videos saying that Nintendo wasn't going to be successful when they saw what the Switch was. Well, they were all wrong. So you don't have to look back too far, but people will continue to ignore that stuff and pretend that they know more than people that it's their business, it's their life to dedicate themselves to that craft, to know about video games and know how to make them and know how to sell them. And you just have to trust them, man. And this is the thing, if you're that freaked out about it, just don't buy their game. Don't be a fan of that company. If that's how, like, if you don't like the way Nintendo is making games, and if you don't like the way that they're doing their business, simple, don't give them money and they will change their practices. That is what we are seeing clearly before our eyes. It's not the fact that they change when we yell, it's the fact that they change when we don't give them the green, when we don't give them the money. That's why Nintendo has turned around, because they said, oh, you know what, this is not working for us as a company, it is not making us money, therefore we were going to change our ways. And that is why we have the Nintendo Switch, and that's why we have these third-party games and Fortnite and all this stuff, and being able to play with other people in other systems. That is the main reason, and not because armchair CEOs that think that they know what is the good for a multi-billion-dollar company. Speak with your wallet. If you want these companies to change, speak with your wallet. So that is the end of my video. Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know below. Let's have a conversation. And this is the part of the video where I thank you so much for listening to what I have to say. And if you do like this video, please, you know what to do. You gotta hit that like button. Please help me out here. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and stick around for more Nintendo Game Talk.